Good morning, dear students. Myself Sachin S. Pawar, and I welcome you to my second video on Unit 1 Solid State for PU Second Year Chemistry. In this video, we shall discuss the points that are there on your screen. Okay, so we shall discuss mainly the crystal lattice and the unit cell. The points to be learnt in this the sub parts to be learnt are what is space lattice and their characteristics, unit cell and their characteristics, and calculation of number of particles per unit cell in simple cube, face centered cube, and body centered cube. With this, let's begin our today's session. Okay, so in my last video we have gone through types of solids, that is crystalline and amorphous, then molecular solids, covalent solids, ionic solids, metallic solids, and so on. In all those, you see the particles are different. And here we will consider particles as sphere to understand the crystal lattice. So I'll consider particles as spheres. The sphere may be an atom, ion, or a molecule. It may be an atom, ion, or a molecule. Now, when I say a crystal lattice, I am considering the three-dimensional network of solid. So let us see how this is created. Now here, such bunch of spheres need to be taken together, and they need to be packed together in a particular format or a particular form, and that can be done in a different ways. One of the way could be this. So here the particles, different particles are arranged in an orderly manner, as you can see here. So when they are arranged in an orderly arrangement, you will get a three-dimensional network of those particles, and that is actually a crystal lattice. To understand the actual shape of the crystal lattice, what we have to do is we have to imagine that the centers of all these spheres are connected by some imaginary lines. So here I am drawing those imaginary lines. So if you draw the imaginary lines, the structure appears to be like this, and this is called as the crystal lattice, or a three-dimensional arrangement of particles in space. Now this doesn't appear to be good. So what we'll do is we will decrease the size of those particles. And then I will get a structure like this. So here this is called as a crystal lattice or a space lattice, where the particles are arranged in three dimension in a proper order, and that gives the entire network of particles in a solid, and that is known as crystal lattice or a space lattice. So what is crystal lattice? Crystal lattice or a space lattice is a regular arrangement of points. Those points are now actually the spheres, the particles, atoms, ions, or molecules, and these spheres are arranged in three dimension. You will get a network of particles, and that is called as crystal lattice or space lattice. In this arrangement, you see there is one small repeating unit, a small unit. If it is highlighted by a blue color, this repeating unit is a cube actually, and such 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, 6, such many cubes, if you join together side by side, you will get the entire arrangement of particles. And this smallest unit which is there in an entire crystal lattice, which when repeated in all possible directions, you will get the entire arrangement, and that is called as the unit cell. The smallest repeating unit in the crystal lattice, which when repeated in three-dimension space, that gives the entire crystal lattice. This is called as unit cell. Let us learn details about these unit cells. So we have a unit cell here. Let us see the characteristics of crystal lattice first, and then we shall see the unit cell. Okay, I have already told you these dots, these spheres are actually the particles. These spheres, these dots actually are referred to as lattice points or lattice sites. These are called as lattice points or lattice sites. Lattice points or lattice sites means those points where the particle exists, where the actual particle exists. Those lattice points, actually they are the particles, the constituent particles, that is atom, ion or group, are present there, and that point represents the lattice, that point represents the particle. We are just decreasing the size of those spheres to make sure that you will understand the geometry of the structure, geometry of the crystal. Therefore we are considering them as points, and the points means lattice points, and they are nothing but the constituent particles. Each constituent particles, okay, they are surrounded by a particular identical surrounding. There is a particular identical surrounding. Just see, for example, this particle if I take, then you see one particle here, one particle here, one particle here, one particle here, and then there will be one particle here, and if I extend, then there will be one more particle similar like this, and that pattern continues everywhere. That is, each point in a space lattice has an identical surrounding, has an identical surrounding. And the last part, that is, the lattice points are joined. They are joined together by imaginary lines, straight lines, and that gives you the geometry of the entire crystal lattice. So these are the characteristics of crystal lattice. Now this crystal lattice, let us zoom in, and we will concentrate on now the unit cell, that is the smallest repeating unit. Okay, so here I have a crystal lattice. If I just zoom in this crystal lattice, then I have got a smallest repeating unit. This is the smallest repeating unit. This smallest repeating unit is called as unit cell. Now this unit cell is characterized by few things. Let's see what are the characteristics. So for this I have one box here. I have one box here for you. Okay, this is the box. So this is the box. You can see it is a unit cell. If this box is repeated in all possible directions, say I just take similar box on this side, similar box above it, below it, this side, all sides, I'll get the entire network of solids. So this is the arrangement, and these lines which are there, they are the imaginary boundaries, and the particles are present in those. So if I just take, this is the simplest repeating unit present in the unit cell. So this unit cell, if I just take, then it is characterized by two things, that is, see, edge, which is called as edge length or unit length, and edge angles. You see edge angles. So here we see angles, edge angles. I'll come back on this. So just observe on the screen. So here we have got, since this is a three-dimensional, we have edges along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So if I just take, then this is this. If I just take this edge, then I will say this is x-axis, this is y-axis, and there is a z-axis here. Z-axis, x-axis and y-axis. So if I just take into that consideration, then edge length is, see, length A, which is along x-axis starting from this point to this point. Edge length along y-axis, that is starting from this point to this point, and edge length along z-axis, that is starting from this point to this point. So there are three edges, edge A, B, C respectively along x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Then between any two edges there is certain angle, and that certain angle makes it to have a particular shape. And these are three, that is alpha, beta, gamma. Angle between edge A and edge C in the diagram is referred to as beta angle. Angle between edge B and edge C is referred to as alpha angle, and angle between edge B and edge A is referred to as gamma angle. So we have got alpha, beta, gamma, and depending upon the interrelation between those values, that is edge angles and edge lengths, we have got different types of crystal lattice. We have got different types of crystal unit cells. We have got different types of unit cells. This is edge length A, edge length B, edge length C, angle alpha between edge B and C, angle beta between edge A and C, angle gamma between edge A and B. So these are the two characteristics, and based on these characteristics you choose any solid in the present scenario, you will find that is existing in either any one of these 7 types of unit cells: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Cubic unit cell, tetragonal, orthorhombic, rhombohedral, monoclinic, hexagonal and triclinic. And the difference between them is simply the correlation between the edge lengths and the edge angles. Just to give one example, if I take a cubic unit cell, then you see cubic unit cell, the edge length is A is equal to B is equal to C. All the edges, edge A, edge B, edge C, all the angles are same. All the edge lengths are same. If I just take then edge A, edge B and edge C, if they are same, then it is called as cubic unit cell. It is not a cube. It's not a cube. Here edge A is equal to, okay, then edge angles, you see edge angles, then edge angles is maybe 90 degrees or something different. So for cubic system, all the edges are same. For edge angles, they are equal to 90 degrees and all angles are same. For tetragonal, the 2 edge lengths are same and the third edge length is slightly different than the first 2, but the angles remain same. Alpha is equal to beta is equal to gamma is equal to 90 degrees and so on and so on. You see different edge lengths and different angle comparison, and that gives you different kinds of shape for those unit cells. And those unit cells, when you repeat many times in all possible directions, you will get the entire crystal lattice. You will get the entire crystal lattice. Now these unit cells are imaginary cells because the lines which are called as the straight lines, they are the imaginary ones that I have told you in just a while. I have told you they are imaginary. Actually they are the lines drawn between the two spheres. Now if I consider the spheres, these all 7 unit cells can be classified into mainly 2 types depending upon where the particle is. We have a primitive or a simple unit cell where the particles are supposed to be present only at the corners, of the unit cell. Along with the corner particles, if you have got particles elsewhere, then they are called as centered unit cell, and we have got mainly 3: body centered, face centered and edge centered. I'll explain you meaning of body center. Body center means, suppose this is one unit cell. It belongs to a category where see edge length A, just okay. Now what is this shape? Let's see. Edge length A, edge length B, edge length C. All 3 are not same. So all 3 are not same means I will be coming to this aspect, either monoclinic or triclinic. I'll be coming to monoclinic or triclinic or orthorhombic. Again, all angles, if you just take, all angles are 90 degrees here. So it is actually this one, orthorhombic. So this is an example of an orthorhombic crystal, a unit cell, orthorhombic unit cell. So this is orthorhombic unit cell. So I'll come back on this. What is the meaning of primitive unit cell? Primitive unit cell means, now orthorhombic, if you just take, then any unit cell has got corners. Now this has got 4 corners on the top and 4 corners at the bottom. That is total 8 corners. So any unit cell will have 8 corners. Okay. So if the particles are present only on the corners, then that is called as the primitive unit cell or the simple unit cell. Primitive unit cell or a simple unit cell. Now this is a orthorhombic crystal. As I have told, A is not equal to B is not equal to C and alpha is equal to beta is equal to gamma. Then this is a orthorhombic crystal, orthorhombic unit cell. Now this orthorhombic unit cell, if it is a primitive or a simple, then particles should be present only at the corners, that is 8 corners. If I say body center, then along with the 8 corner particles, there will be one particle inside this box, that is at the center of the unit cell. Then we have got body centered unit cell. If I say face centered unit cell, along with the 8 corner particles, there will be particle at the center of every face. So just see, now this structure has got how many faces? Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase 5 and phase 6. 6 phases are there. So every phase will have a center, and on that center, along with the corner particles, six faces, on centers of six faces, if you have got the particles, then it is referred to as face centered unit cell. And the last one is edge centered unit cell, which is nothing but a cell where we have corner particles. Along with the corner particles, there will be particles at the center of any two opposite faces. Any two opposite faces. So if I just take this face, opposite of this is this face. So two particles here, one particle here, one particle here. Or if I take this particle, then this face, then one particle at the center of this face, then opposite, that is the edge center, opposite faces. So these are the types of unit cells depending upon the particles present in those respective places. Let's see now. These are, so if I just combine the edge lengths, that is imaginary lines, and the particles, then I will see that I can form a chart. Here, and that chart goes like this. So you see there are 7 such kind of crystal unit cells: cubic, tetragonal, orthorhombic, also known as rhombic, monoclinic, hexagonal, trigonal, triclinic, that is 7 in number. And depending upon where the particles exist, we have again subdivisions. Like for example, cubic unit cell, we have got 3 types of arrangements of particles, and that arrangement of particle makes it the crystal lattice. This is discovered by Bravais, therefore it's also called as Bravais lattice. So if I take cubic unit cell, then cubic unit cell, when it is repeated many times, you may have a primitive unit cell where the particles will be only at the corners, or a body centered unit cell where the particles will be at the corners as well as one particle at the center of each unit cell, or a face centered, that is the particle where the particles are at the corners and particles at the center of every face. So like this, if you just go on counting in the entire universe, if you see any solid, it will belong to any one of this, and the total counts is 14. So there are seven unit cells respectively named depending upon the interrelation between A, B, C edge length, alpha, beta, gamma edge angles, and depending upon the occupancy of those spheres, the particles, we have again subdivisions, and total makes it 14 Bravais lattice or crystal lattice. We shall see only the cubic crystal system. And the diagrams of those are on your screen. So here you see a cube. I have taken a cube here. So edge length A is equal to B is equal to C is equal to A is equal to B is equal to C. If I just imagine, then you see the particles are only at the corners. 8 corners. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is behind that. So 8 corner particles. So imaginary lines if you draw, then you will get a structure like this. This is a cube which is having particles only at the corner. Simple cube. Body centered cube, 8 corner particles. Along with that, 1 particle at the center, that is body centered cube, BCC. And a face centered particle, 8 corner particles, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 behind, and at every center of every face center we have 1 particle, 1, 2, 3, and behind that 3. This is the face centered particle. These are the corner particles. So these are the shapes. Just for imagination, I am just showing the shapes of these simple cube, body centered cube, and a face centered cube. Okay, let's go ahead into the next part. The next part is we have to find out the number of particles per unit cell. Let's find out the number of particles per unit cell. Now for this, I will just show you something here. Okay, now just imagine this box. Now if you see this box, this is a simple, it may be any unit cell. As I told you, here the edge length A is not equal to B is not equal to C. Okay, so this is not a cube. This is not a cube, but I'm just taking one unit cell. Now just take a corner particle. If I just take a corner particle, now compare this with the room in which you are sitting right now. Just compare this with a room in which you are sitting right now. Just concentrate on any corner particle. So corner particle is here. Now this corner particle, is it completely belong to this unit cell only, or it is belonging to some other unit cell also. Just remember, these lines are imaginary ones, only spheres are there. So I am taking simple cube now. I am taking a simple, that is primitive unit cell. So only particles are at the corner. Okay. So for this, imagination is, this box you can imagine as your room right now where you are sitting. So if I just take that, particles are only at the corner. So there are 8 corner particles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 corner particles are there. Okay. So imagine the room. So 8 corners are there. You can just find out corner, front 4 corners, backside 4 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4, and backside we have 4 corners. You can see. So if the particles are only at those corners, then it is called as primitive unit cell. Now this unit cell has to be repeated many a times. Such boxes, if I place above, below, here, and everywhere around it, then I will get the entire crystal lattice. Okay. So this corner particle is this corner part. Now these lines are coming from the centers of the unit cell, centers of those spheres. So I have to see whether that particle is entirely belonging to this unit cell or not. For this corner particle. Now this corner particle, is it belonging to this unit cell or the other one? Now just think of this corner. Using this corner, how many unit cells I can create? Or this corner is common to how many unit cells? If I just want to check, then just see, like this box, this corner can be used for the box which is there on this side. I can use this corner, I can create one more box next to this, and that corner also is common to that. And then one more box I can keep here. So one box here, one box here, one box here, and this box. Total 4 boxes. It will be a common unit cell, common corner. And again, one more layer of such, if I keep it above it, then the upper ones, again 1 box, 2 box, 3 box, 4 box. So that corner is common to actually 8 unit cells. Am I right? Just imagine, there is an imagination required here. So this corner is common to 8 unit cells. 1, 2, just next to it, 3 next to it, and here one there is a next to it, 4, and above that if I place, then this corner is again for 4, those 4, then 4 plus 4, 8. So this corner is shared by 8 unit cell. That means this is the center of that sphere. That means 1/8 of that sphere of the corner will be present in 1 unit cell, because 8, it is 1 by 8. It will be divided equally by 8 parts. So 1/8 part will be present in 1 unit cell. So corner particle 1/8 part is present in 1 unit cell. Corner particle 1/8 part is present in 1 unit cell. So just see here. Okay. So corner particle 1/8 part is present. 1/8 part is present in 1 unit cell. So if you count the number of corner particles, then you can simply divide it by 8, and you will get to know exactly how much part of those corner particle is actually present in 1 unit cell. I hope you are following this. Okay, coming to face center. Face center means we have corner particles, and we have particle at the center of every face. So again, suppose I am counting face centered particles. So the particle should be at the center of this face. Now is this face is belonging to only this unit cell? Just compare this with your room. Just consider this face as a wall. Is that wall belong to only the room in which you are sitting right now, or it can be shared by some other room which is there behind that wall? Yes, the wall or the face is common to two unit cell. If this box is there, above this box if one more is there, then this face is shared by two boxes, or I can say that face is shared by 2 unit cells. The face is shared by 2 unit cells. That means the particle which is present at the center of the face also should be shared by 2 unit cells. So in 1 unit cell, only half of that particle will be present in 1 unit cell, half of that particle will be present in the upper unit cell. So if I have to count the particles at the center of the faces, if I have to count the particles at the center of the faces, then I need to have a multiplier that is half. That is half. I have to have a multiplier that is half. So here you see, for a face centered particle, I need to multiply it by half. That is half the total face centered particle. So count the number of face centered particles, and then you just multiply by 12. That will give you the out of face centered particle, how much of those particles are actually present in that unit cell. And lastly, we have got one more, that is body center. One more, that is body center. Body center means what? Corner particles are there and one particle is there in the inside. Just imagine that you are a particle in the room. Are you completely into the room, or your body has been shared by other room? No, it's not that. Your body is entirely into the room. So body center is the particle is, if it is there, it will be only one body center. So the room will have only one center. So the unit cell will have only one center, that is exactly at the center, and if particle is present there, it will be completely present in that unit cell only. Okay, so I can consider the particle at the center, it is completely entirely present in the unit cell. Therefore, if it is present, it has to be counted as 1. So if I use this analogy, then the number of particles in unit cell can be easily be calculated by the formula 1/8 into total number of corner particles plus 1/2 into total number of face centered particles plus 1 if body centered particle is there, plus half if the end center particle is. End center means again a face center only, because end center means any two opposite faces will have the particle. So again end means the face itself by 2. This can be applied for cubic unit cell like this. I'll take this the last part and I'll stop. Okay, so primitive simple cube. Just see, only corner particles are there. So if I want to find out the number of particles, then 1/8 into how many corners are there in a cube? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 corners. So it is 1/8 into 8. Plus no faces here, no face centered particles here, no body centered particle in primitive and end center. Therefore it is 1/8 into 8 plus 0, that is 1/8 into 8 plus 0, that is making it as 1. So about all the 8 particles, if I join them together, only one particle will make it to be exactly present, completely present in that one primitive or simple cubic unit cell. Body centered, if I just count, then 8 corner particles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 means 1/8 into 8, but there is one particle at the center, so face center is 0. Face center is 0 plus 1 body, that means 1/8 into 8 is 1 plus 1, that is 2. Face center, if I count, then it is corner particles are 8, so 1/8 into 8 plus. Every face center is common to 2 unit cells, so divide by 2. And the total faces are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces are there. So 6 faces means 1/2 into 6. So 1/8 into 8 plus 1/2 into 6 plus body center is not there, 0. End center is not there, 0. So that is 1/8 plus 1/8 into 8 plus 1/2 into 6 is 4. So in simple cube we have got one full sphere, which is a contribution of all the 8 spheres. In body centered cube we have got 2 spheres, which is a contribution of one body centered sphere and 8 corner spheres. And in face centered cube we have got in all 4 spheres, which is a contribution of 6 face centered spheres and 8 corner spheres. This is about calculation of number of particles per unit cell. This is required for some of the calculations which are going to be learned by you in the next videos, and therefore I am using this. They may ask you a question of 2 marks to calculate the number of particles in any unit cell, maybe a simple cube or a body centered cube or a face centered cube. So this completes the today's video. So in this video we have gone through what is known as crystal lattice, types of crystal lattice, unit cell, The lattice point means what, crystal lattice means what, unit cell means what, different types of unit cells based on the edge length ABC and edge angles alpha, beta, gamma. Then different types of unit cells based on the appearance of the filling of spheres in those unit cells, that is primitive and centered unit cells. And how to identify or how to calculate the number of particles per unit cell is the last part. And that completes today's video. I'll stop here. In the next class we shall see, in the next video we shall see how these particles are arranged to form the entire crystal lattice and the details related to that. Thank you. I'll stop here.